Our next honoree is Len Aronson, and to present Len, another Silver Circle member inducted with me in 2004, my friend, the groundbreaking independent producer, Tom Weinberg.
Leonard Aronson is a producer of documentaries. In fact, I would say that he is the premier and most prolific producer of meaningful documentaries probably in the history of Chicago television. I don't mean to slight two previous Silver Circle winners, the Emmy champion Scott Craig, or as Jack Brickhouse used to say, this reporter. But neither Jack nor I could ever be considered reporters like Len Aronson. Before he even thought about TV, he was a terrific reporter. As we were reminded last week with the death of David Halberstam, reporters are rare these days, in print and definitely in TV. The demands of large-scale commercial media are not conducive to good, old-fashioned, in-depth reporting, which I would say has something to do with Len's roots as a reporter and the honors that he's had. 11 Emmys, Peter Lissagore Award for documentary production, 2 Communicator Awards from the Cardinal, 3 from the Central Educational Network, a Peabody Award for writing All the King's Men, All the King's Horses, a documentary about the grieving, it's a Robert Penn Warren problem here. All the King's Horses. It was a documentary about the grieving process of parents with impaired children. Let's go back to his first job as a reporter, 1967, at the Chicago City News Bureau in Chicago, the legendary School of Hard Knocks, the breeding ground for dozens of outstanding reporters: John Calloway, Joe Cummings, Seymour Hersh, Carol Marine, Mike Royko, Roger Simon, Pam Zeckman, to name a few, and many others you probably not expect, like editorial cartoonist Herb Block, Kurt Vonnegut, Klaus Oldenburg, and playwright Charles MacArthur, all alumni of the City News Bureau. Oh, and there's another one too, the City News alum, and that's one of Chicago's most respected newspaper reporters of our generation. She doesn't like TV that much. Ann Keegan, who for years, I think 35, has been married to Len Aronson. So I salute them for that. That's a remarkable achievement. So. To me, calling someone a genuine on-the-streets, on-the-ground reporter, capital R reporter in Chicago, is a high compliment. There aren't many higher, as far as I'm concerned, in our business. And it's not a very large club. Len is a documentary producer with the ability to get to the bottom of a story, a process which takes weeks or months sometimes before shooting even a single frame. For years, the only place in town you could do this was Channel 11. I guess it still is. Len produced Chicago Matters, a series for 15 years, which examined a single issue every year. The environment, children at risk, aging, race, violence, immigration, work, community, healthcare, justice, and education. I think there probably were more, too. A few weeks ago, my documentary students asked Leonard the question, how did you find all these people in his tapes? And of course, the answer is by hard work. Uncovering sources, working the phones and the streets and the internet, and only then can the accidents happen that really make TV what it is when you're making good TV. Accidents don't happen, and Leonard made things work in a way that hardly anybody has. There's one other thing I respect Leonard for, and that's he's never really stopped learning. and I'm talking about the technical craft of TV, which almost everyone in this room knows is the heart. It's the core of making programs that work. Even after he was an executive producer, he learned to shoot, and he's a good shooter. And to edit his own work, I think first analog and then digital. And that thirst to learn, to experience the world, is what drove him to this kind of hands-on thing. It drove him to do what he's done in his life. He was a cab driver. He joined the Merchant Marine. He was a teacher. He was a newspaper reporter. He went and made documentaries really on his own in Turkey and Thailand and Vietnam, twice, I think, in Egypt and France. So Leonard is remarkable. But he's not a saint, don't get me wrong. He is a great guy and with wonderful enthusiasm. His life and his work and his commitment to excellence really make him eminently qualified for this award. And I thank you, Leonard, for asking me to do this. So quickly, let me say, talk about the video that you're about to see. Of course, Leonard prepared it. It's not exactly like the others you'll see tonight. It's not sound bites and bits and pieces, which I'm not putting down. I'm just saying this is Leonard and Leonard's style, okay? It's segments from 3 different documentaries that he made and is proud of. And you'll see what kind of quality he's been doing for many, many years. So let's check it out.
Point Avenue, one street in Chicago, a residential street that runs just east of Western Avenue, that passes 10 parks, 1 cemetery, 17 churches, 2 housing projects, and 11 schools, that reverses direction 8 times, crosses the river twice, gets blocked by 9 industrial areas, cuts through 11 police districts and 17 different neighborhoods, from Rogers Park through Wicker Park to Morgan Park, that touches rich and poor, old and new, blacks and whites and Hispanics, renters and landlords, jobless welfare recipients and affluent professionals, that runs a 25-mile course through the heart of Chicago, sometimes feeling safe and secure, other times unsafe and menacing. It's a typical city street connecting more than 12,000 Chicagoans of every class, race, and political persuasion. 12,000 people who have one clear thing in